Chattisfying.
What about a game that since we've last spoke that you've enjoyed but your community is just not liked and maybe have dipped somewhat?
Overwatch, definitely. I personally don't necessarily play Overwatch all too much anymore, but I still love watching it. I love watching clips of it. I think the game is amazing. I think the esports was pretty decent. It's been on the decline because of a multitude of reasons, but I think the skins are great. I think that the way they do a lot of different things within Overwatch is fantastic and should be implemented into other games like Apex. But it's just not. It was very hard to switch from like Call of Duty hardcore shooter to PUBG hardcore shooter, Fortnite. I'm not gonna say hardcore shooter because that's Fortnite. But it was hard to switch from like a hardcore shooter kind of like viewer base and then switch them over to Overwatch where it's just like, a mercy left clicking on somebody and it's not necessarily the same. So it's hard to, take a story time viewer base and switch it to a hardcore shooter game and everybody, we all love it. It's very hard to do that. So I started playing Overwatch and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but my viewer base didn't. So it was just kind of like I'll stream it here and there.
Yeah, I've had similar experiences with that as well, to be fair. Everything dips. The only way I've been able to have anyone retain is just do like a rotation of people coming in to play with me and carry me through it all. Yeah. Because I'm the guy that runs in like a fucking junk rat and just like, okay, you've done it now. I'm done. There we go. Bye-bye. See you later. But no, it's a struggly game. It really is a streaming.
I have to say with Overwatch, I've mentioned this before, but I think it's a great game. But as someone who joins streams primarily for the streamer and not so much for the game they're playing, I hate Overwatch streams. I actually kind of avoid Overwatch streams because Overwatch is such an intense game and there's no downtime in that game whatsoever that you can't have a conversation with the streamer if they're playing Overwatch. It is impossible. I have tried multiple times. It's a struggle uphill. So I normally just don't try. Because it's like, well, if they're playing Overwatch, I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with that streamer, so I may as well not bother. I'll go talk to someone else. You know what I mean? Because it involves so much focus all the time. Like in most BRs, especially, I know it's not a BR, but in most sort of first-person shooters, especially BRs, you get a lot of downtime where you can speak to chat. In Apex Legends, for example, you've got the whole time you drop in, and there's times where you're just traveling from one place to another where you can check chat and you can have a chat. But there's no downtime in Overwatch. So the only time that you get is when you die, which I've noticed a lot of Overwatch players don't seem to check chat when they die. I'm guessing because they're probably still thinking over the fight that's just happened. Or between games, which could be like, 15, 20 minutes down the line. So I think it's a great game, but I don't think it's a great game to stream. And that goes across the board for everyone. I've never seen a good Overwatch stream, to be honest. Anyone.
That's a really fair take because like I said, when I streamed it, I had that same problem where for one, I'm not necessarily the best at reading chat. I'm still trying to get better at that, but especially during Overwatch times when I streamed it, I had a very, very hard time reading chat and like keeping up with the conversation. Like there would be, I'd get into a fight, the fight would be over, I'd die, and then I would check chat, and then there's 20 new messages. I wouldn't be able to keep up with the conversation. Even if I did read the chat, I couldn't actually be invested into what they were talking about because I didn't know what they were talking about because there were so many different things that went on from when I died or when I started to when I died. So I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. And that's, I personally don't watch Overwatch streams as well. I kind of just watch the, best of kind of clips of like this week or that week. So I could definitely see where you're coming from with that standpoint. Yeah. And I agree with it too.
See, that's probably where I'm going wrong because I spend too much time looking at the chat. That's probably what I'm doing. That's why I die. It's not because of my skill. It's because of chat. Don't chat.
Maybe it's both.
It's definitely both. It really is.
Chattisfied.